Situational awareness. Is this something for elite military spy teams or Navy SEALs or some type of unique unit that only law enforcement can handle? Or is it something that relates to schools? Superintendent called me a while back and said, I want you to come in and talk to our back to school meeting of teachers, support staff, administrators, and our school safety personnel. And I said, what do you want me to talk about? And she said, well, we've got cameras and SROs and access controls, secured vestibules, and two-way radios. I need you to explain that two teachers standing in the corner of a playground looking at their phone and talking to each other while 60 kids are running around is not active supervision. And I said, I can do that. I'll be there. I'm Ken Trump, President of National School Safety and Security Services, and this is School Safety in 5 minutes or less. Yes, situational awareness is for schools. It's not just for military units or law enforcement personnel, but it comes with a different language. We often hear mindfulness in schools, being fully present, fully engaged. We hear that in a mental health, physical health type of way, but we've heard that often in schools of being mindful, being fully present. But we hear it more so with the phrase active supervision. What's active supervision? Active supervision is a key component of school safety and a part of the educational community. Being visible in hotspots in general areas, moving around, scanning areas, scanning what's going on with kids, engaging with kids, calling kids out by name, greeting them in the morning at arrival, talking with them in the hallways, cafeterias, intervening in conflicts as they escalate. And where do we need that active supervision? Arrivals and dismissals, where there's a ton of traffic coming in with cars and buses and pedestrian traffic and kid movement. And those things that happen as kids arrive, and at dismissal when everybody's leaving, the opposite end of the day. But also in cafeterias at breakfast and lunch, where things tend to jump off and tend to happen. More kids, less supervision in terms of adult to student ratio. Things tend to need to be fully actively supervised and engaged. Hallways, restrooms, stairwells, those areas basically everywhere on campus, right? Where there are kids, adults, and the presence of some other adults. But we need to look at, with the challenges in security today in schools, the unknown unknowns, the things, the threats that may also come in from outside. And there's a thing called pre-operational surveillance when you talk about in the terrorism and counterterrorism world, and people with ill intentions who do surveillance, do observations. They check out their intended target before they actually carry out an attack so that they get the lay of the land, know what some of the things are that could interfere with their plan and how they could mitigate those. And who might have ill intentions? It could be a non-custodial parent, could be a child abductor, it may be an active assailant or a school shooter, as some may refer to, but it could also be, on an extreme case, highly unlikely, but still possible, a domestic or foreign terrorist, someone who's casing out the schools to commit a very nefarious act. So where do we focus our staff training today? Truth is, inside secret, that's not a secret. Nobody really knows, from the superintendent to the custodian, what's in the 90 to 120 page school emergency plan. Those plans are good. They're things that we need to do. Check the box after an incident, have conversations, most importantly, before something occurs as part of our planning. But the critical things we need to do are three things. One, focus on situational awareness, making sure that people are actively supervising and fully mindful and engaged. Second, recognizing abnormalities and patterns. Stranger in the hallway, a person who didn't belong in the or a car that's unusual in the pickup and drop-off lines. Strange car in the back parking lot. People walking around on campus with cameras and things. And then cognitive decision making under stress. Once we're situationally aware, once we recognize abnormalities, patterns, how do we make decisions when we don't have 10 minutes to track down the principal, but it's five people in the back hallway, a French teacher, a custodian, a school resource officer, and a couple of other people who have to act right away. And there are times to talk about this through training, the 5 minute rule that we've talked about in another segment, and tabletops, and we can help with those conversations. Visit our newly refreshed website, schoolsecurity.org. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Ken Trump, President of National School Safety and Security Services